What if the reason your blood sugar crashes isn't the food itself, but how you're timing it? I can prove it to you today. I'm Dr. William Harper. For 8 years, I've studied metabolic health with hundreds of people who thought they had to eliminate carbs forever. They didn't. In the next 14 minutes, I'll show you the exact sequence of decisions you can make before, during, and after eating that rewires how your metabolism responds to carbs. This isn't about supplements or willpower. It's about understanding the 3 biological windows your body opens every single day. Master those windows, control your blood sugar. Let's start. Timing matters. Your body doesn't process carbs the same at 9 a.m. as it does at 9 p.m. Your pancreas, muscles, and liver operate on a 24-hour biological clock. When you wake up, insulin sensitivity is highest. By evening, it's dropped significantly. That's not a flaw, it's a feature. Research shows the identical meal eaten in the morning produces a 40% smaller blood sugar spike than the same meal eaten 8 hours later. Same food, same calories, different time. Completely different outcome. Why? Melatonin suppresses insulin release by nearly half in the evening. Your muscles become less sensitive to insulin as the day winds down. Your body is preparing to slow down. The solution? You don't eat less at night. You eat strategically different. But first, there's another biological window most people ignore. It happens immediately after you eat. The 10-minute window. Imagine a muscle that acts like a glucose vacuum cleaner. It doesn't need insulin to pull glucose from your bloodstream. It just absorbs it directly. It's your soleus muscle, the muscle in your calf beneath your knee. This muscle contains slow twitch fibers, so it sustains activity for long periods without fatigue. When you walk 10 minutes after eating, you activate this muscle. It siphons glucose from your blood without needing insulin. Your post-meal blood sugar spike drops by 15 to 25%. But timing is critical. That walk needs to happen within 20 minutes of finishing. This is when your blood glucose rises fastest. Walk then, and you interrupt the spike at its source. A randomized study tracked 2 groups eating identical meals. One sat for 30 minutes. The other walked for 10 minutes immediately after. The walking group showed lower peak glucose and a stabilized curve for the next 2 hours. It doesn't have to be intense. Gentle walking works. Even standing and moving works. The mechanism is pure biomechanics. Muscle contraction equals glucose uptake. No hormones required. The overnight hack. Most nutritionists say white rice is bad and brown rice is better. Technically true, but incomplete. What if you could take white rice, the rice you've been told to avoid, and transform its metabolic impact by 50% with one simple step? When you cook rice and cool it in the refrigerator for 12 hours or more, something remarkable happens. The starch crystallizes into resistant starch. Your digestive system cannot break this down the same way. Instead of entering your bloodstream in 20 minutes, resistant starch travels to your large intestine where gut bacteria ferment it. This produces short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which improves insulin sensitivity over time. Studies show reheated cooled rice produces a 45% reduction in blood sugar spike compared to freshly cooked rice. Same grain, same calories, different structure. You can do this with rice, potatoes, pasta, bread, and even legumes. The implementation is simple. Cook your starch the night before, refrigerate overnight, reheat when you're ready to eat. Bonus, resistant starch feeds good gut bacteria, which means better digestion, improved immunity, and sustained energy, not just better blood sugar. Remember this, your food's structure matters more than its type. Meal order. I'm about to show you something that changes how you eat forever. It requires 0 restriction. Your meal order determines your blood sugar trajectory. This isn't theory, it's biomechanics. When you eat carbs first, your stomach rapidly empties glucose into your small intestine. Blood glucose spikes sharply within 15 to 30 minutes. Your pancreas overcompensates with insulin. You experience a crash 60 to 90 minutes later. You're hungry again. Now here's what happens with the right sequence. Step 1. Eat protein and vegetables first. This creates a physical barrier in your stomach that slows gastric emptying. Protein triggers satiety hormones. Fiber adds bulk. Step 2. Wait 8 to 10 minutes, just enough time to eat slowly. Step 3. Eat your carbs last. Now, carbs enter a stomach that's primed with protein and fiber. Glucose enters your bloodstream gradually, over 90 minutes instead of 30 minutes. A major medical institution published findings showing people who ate carbs last instead of first experienced a 73% reduction in peak glucose. Same meal, same calories, same taste, just different order. Eat your salad and protein first. Ignore the bread basket, then address carbs later. This isn't a diet, it's a reorganization of what you're already eating. The vinegar multiplier. There's one ingredient that amplifies every other strategy. Most people think of it as a condiment. It's actually a glucose management tool. Vinegar. Specifically, the acetic acid in vinegar. Acetic acid inhibits an enzyme called alpha amylase. This enzyme breaks down starch into glucose. When you block it, you slow carb digestion. 2 tablespoons of vinegar consumed 15 minutes before a carbohydrate meal reduced glucose spikes by 20 to 30% in multiple studies. But it works through multiple pathways simultaneously. Pathway 1, it slows starch digestion. Pathway 2, it improves insulin sensitivity in your muscle cells by up to 34%. Pathway 3, it reduces hepatic glucose production. Your liver produces less glucose, especially important during fasting. The practical application? Mix 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar or red wine vinegar into a glass of water and drink it 10 to 15 minutes before your meal. Now combine this with the sequence strategy. Vinegar 10 minutes before eating, protein and vegetables first, carbs last, then a 10-minute walk 15 minutes after finishing. You've stacked 4 biological interventions. They're not additive, they're synergistic. The combined effect is significantly greater than any single strategy. And importantly, this is food, not a pharmaceutical. No dependency concerns, no side effects except better digestion. It costs pennies. Carb quality. Now let's talk about carb quality. The strategies we've covered work better with higher quality carbohydrates, but they also mitigate lower quality ones. Here's the distinction. Processed carbohydrates, like white flour, instant oats, and refined grains, are milled into fine particles. More surface area means faster enzyme access and faster glucose release. Like the difference between a solid block of wood and wood chips. Same wood, totally different burn rate. Whole carbohydrates, like steel-cut oats, intact grain kernels, and legumes, retain their structure. Fiber matrix stays intact. Enzymes work harder to access starch. Glucose release is naturally slower. Start here. You've learned 6 different pieces. How do you actually use this? Most health advice asks you to change everything simultaneously. That's why it fails. I'm giving you an implementation pathway. You choose where to start based on your life. If you're eating out or traveling and can't control food prep, start with the sequence strategy. Eat protein and vegetables first. Wait a few minutes, then eat your carbs. This alone reduces blood sugar impact by 50% without anyone knowing. If you have control over meal prep at home, start with the preparation transformation. Cook starch the night before, refrigerate, reheat. One behavior change affects multiple meals throughout the week. If you're concerned about energy crashes, start with the movement multiplier. After eating, take a 10-minute walk within 20 minutes of finishing. You'll feel more stable, less crash-prone within days. Once one strategy is solid, layer in a second. Last thing, individual variation is real. Some people are more insulin sensitive. Some have different gut bacteria. Some have hormonal factors. That's why you start with one strategy and notice your response. This is personalization, not one size fits all. I made this video because I've watched too many people unnecessarily restrict their diets, eliminate foods they love, and accept energy crashes as inevitable. They're not inevitable. They're optional. Your body has incredible self-regulating machinery. It's not broken. It's operating without the right information.
You now have that information. The question isn't whether these strategies work. Research is clear. The question is whether you'll implement them for the next 30 days and observe what happens to your energy, cravings, sleep, and how you feel. If this resonated with you, share it with someone struggling with their relationship to food. This is science-backed biology that deserves to be common knowledge. I'll see you in the next one.